as we're getting ready for kickoff. Here we go between Carolina, who's in blue and black pants. They actually kind of look, that uniform kind of looks pretty cool. And the Bucs are in their road white as well. This, again, how we can talk about this game, guys, is simple. Can Jameis Winston keep the mistakes down? If he can keep the turnovers down, guys, the Bucs can win this football game. They could have beat the 49ers, too, had the mistakes not happened. The defense played well enough. Now, tonight they're going to get tested because they got Christian McCaffrey. They're going to get tested tonight because McCaffrey is one of the most dynamic players in the NFL as we speak. So, guys, just, that is that. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, like I said, I have VonAllen coming on in 45 minutes to talk with me about Patriot football. Adam, if you want to jump on, my man, we can have a three-way talk about the Patriots win over the Steelers. If anybody else wants to jump on and talk, hop on real quick. Get on here and get on here because we can talk for a little while prior to anything else. We can hop on and you can talk. I know I have Lewis coming in. I have some people right now that are actually viewing me right now on TalkShoe. I know that, again, I will have VonAllen on at 9 o'clock, guys. And so if anybody wants to comment on in Facebook Live, pop in here and stuff like that. What are some of your predictions? What's going on in college football this week? Let's take a look real quick, guys, and see what are the top 25. Let's see here. Top 25 in college football. Here we go. Let's see here. Let's see who the top 25 teams are so far in college football and how they have them, who they're playing. There were some big games last week, guys. Big games last week in college football. There were some big games last week in college football. The Texas LSU game was, let's see here, games. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can get the schedule here for college football. Let's see, FanSided, and check this out. See what we got here. Who the schedule is here. Again, another question too in college football is, can Tennessee win this week? Because they're 0-2 as well. Number 20, Washington State plays tomorrow night at Houston. That should be an interesting football game, guys, to say the least. Tomorrow night. On Saturday, we have Georgia is playing Arkansas State, number 3. Number 6, Ohio State is at Indiana. Penn State is playing Pitt in Happy Valley. I talked to a Pitt fan earlier this week. My man Mike Adams, he's out there as well. He said Penn State's going to kill them on Saturday. Number 21, Maryland is at Temple. New Mexico is at number 7, Notre Dame. The Irish had a bye week last week. The number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide is at South Carolina. Stanford will be at number 17, UCF. So let's see how the Knights do against Stanford. Number 24, USC is at BYU. BYU just came off a big win against Tennessee last weekend. Number 19, Iowa is in there playing their state rival, the Iowa State Tornadoes or Cyclones. Idaho State is at number 11, Utah, who I picked to win the Pac-12 this year. Kent State is at number 8, Auburn. The Florida Gators are heading to Lexington to play Kentucky, who beat them last year. Lamar is at number 16, Texas A&M. A&M, of course, lost last week to the Clemson Tigers. Speaking of Clemson, they are at Syracuse. Syracuse got beat pretty handily last week by number 21, Maryland. Northwestern State is at number 4, LSU. Hawaii is at number 23, Washington. Florida State goes to Virginia to play the Cavaliers. Number 5, Oklahoma is on the road against UCLA. Number 12, Texas is at Rice. Portland State is at number 22 Boise State, who pulled off a big upset in Tallahassee in week 1 over the Seminoles. And then number 15 Oregon is at home against Montana this upcoming week. So, guys, that is kind of the top 25 college football rankings this week. So, again, that, if you didn't hear the teams, that's how they have it ranked. So here we are. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman are on the call here for the Bucks and the Panthers, of course, where they're talking about Bruce Arians, who took over as head coach for the Buccaneers this year. And so far, the Arians regime has started off kind of poorly. We will have to see moving into this week how the Bucs respond after losing last week 31-17 at home to the 49ers. Now they're on the road, and again, they're showing Jameis Winston as we speak. Can he stay away from making mistakes? That's going to be the question. Can he stay away from making mistakes? If he can stay away from making mistakes, he'll be fine. But if he cannot, then it's going to be a long season for them as well. But, guys, like I said, they're getting ready to kick it off here in Carolina. It's 85 degrees, guys, in Carolina. That's in Charlotte. That's wow. 85 degrees, guys. And, by the way, guys, in case you're wondering, be careful this upcoming weekend. We have a tropical depression or something that could be heading this way, could be affecting our weekend into next week. So anyone in the path of that on the East Coast of Florida, guys, bear down, be safe. Don't, be prepared for anything to happen moving forward, because it's that time of the year, guys, with hurricane season. So just be prepared. If you guys, again, I'm going to go back to the NFL. In week 1, we had a night kind of defensive slobber knocker, if you might want to call it that. The Packers beat the Bears 10-3. It was, like I said, a back and forth defensive game last week. The Eagles survived the Redskins 32-27. The Bills beat the Jets 17-16 in a 16-point comeback. It is the largest since 2011 for the Buffalo Bills. Dalvin Cook had 2 rushing touchdowns, and the Vikings 28-12 win over the Falcons. Again, like I said earlier, Lamar Jackson carved up the Dolphins, 59-10 in Miami. The Chiefs visited the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Despite losing one of their key players in Tyreek Hill, they still won 40-26. Like I said earlier, Tennessee rolled Cleveland in Cleveland 43-13. The Rams survived 30-27 over the Rams. And then, of course, you have the next game, guys, is Cincinnati and Seattle. Again, the Seahawks survived the Bengals 20-21 at home. Andy Dalton passes for a career-high 418 yards in a loss. The Chargers defeated the Colts 30-24. It says running back Austin Elker had a game-winning 7-yard touchdown run in overtime to seal that. Again, like I said, there were 3 interceptions, 2 total in all of 2018 for the 49ers defense. They had 3 in one game, 2 for pick sixes, and that was the difference in a 31-17 win over the Bucs. The Cowboys came out and took it to the New York Giants, beating them 35-17. Again, guys, like I was talking earlier about the Lions and the Cardinals tying at 27. The Sunday night game was a beatdown by New England as they won 33-3 over the Steelers. The Saints had a comeback for the ages on a 58-yard winning field goal by their kicker, Lutz, winning 30-28 over the Texans. And then the Raiders upset the Broncos in Oakland 24-16 there as we speak. So, guys, that is kind of the rundown of last week's game. The Buccaneers have started the game off. They got a pass to Chris Godwin, I believe, and now they are, as you can see, number 93 sitting in the middle of that Panther defense is former Buccaneer Gerald McCoy. You know this is a game that he's marked on his calendar as a time. Now, again, he will not play them in Raymond James Stadium. The second game between these two teams, guys, will take place on October 13th in London, England. This will not be played in Tampa Bay. It is now third down here as Mike Evans made a short catch. The first two plays were pretty good for the Buccaneers, so now it's now on third down. So there's a third down play here. So we're going to pause here just for a second to see what they do. There's my man, Dare Ogunbowale. Yes, I had to say that a bunch of times, guys, to get that down. So it's Dare Ogunbowale. Yes, that's how you pronounce his last name. Heard it on the radio enough and said it about 100 times to make sure I had that right. Jameis throws an incomplete pass off the hands of Brett Perriman, and the Buccaneers will have to punt on their first drive on fourth down. It's 4th and 14, so they will be punting here in a few minutes. So that is kind of disappointing. They had the drive there, and it now has stalled, and now they will have to punt here. Is there anything else, guys? Like I said, guys, I have a bunch of guys, I hope, here on Facebook Live. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything like that, you're more than welcome to hop on here. I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Pat Donovan. I had a little conversation last week. I was worried about the NFL season affecting my numbers, and he told me, he said, what you need is you need to get on and do shows and get reps, meaning you need to go on and get reps, because the better that you are, the better the show will be. So he told me, he said, why is it, minor league baseball players don't care. They don't care how many people are in the stands. They still go out and play and hustle and do all what they need to do to get to the bigs. He goes, that's what you need to do. You need to keep moving forward. So I want to give a shout out to Pat Donovan for that conversation again. He was the one who kind of helped me. The very first night that I did this, he hopped on and gave me some pointers and stuff. So I want to give a shout out to him. And again, guys, I apologize again for last week. I know I did this earlier in the show. I did have microphone issues. My best friend was here. I am all by myself tonight. There's no one in here sitting watching me. He was actually in here to kind of sit and watch me. Fortunately, the microphone didn't work. We couldn't get anything working. I couldn't even get anything on my talk shoe or anything like that. Nothing seemed to work. So now, I've got everything worked out. I have to go back and do this the old-fashioned way until I can get my USB ports in my laptop to work, or I can find a dual audio jack that I can plug both of them into. Excuse me, guys, but until then, I have to go with the flow, and I got to do this the old-fashioned way, and that is right here, guys. I'm happy that I'm back on live on my computer because I can read the comments on the right side of that. And let me see. I think my man Lewis is on. Lewis, are you there?
I'm here, Bradley.
How's it going this evening?
All right. Still a little steamy today, but we're managing all right.
Good. You guys didn't get hit by that hurricane, right? You guys were able to avoid that, right? Okay.
We avoided,
yeah. I know that they were talking about it going up to New York and hitting the Cape and all that stuff, so I wanted, that was kind of an interesting thing.
Weren't even close.
Good. Okay, that's good news.
Yeah.
So I hate to bring this up, but you can't catch a break.
No surprise there. I mean, with Bell as a new addition, that wasn't going to help.
Right. I mean, now you got
put the bad luck along with it.
Right, now you got Sam Darnold on the shelf with mono, and you lost you lost another wide receiver that's out for the season with a neck injury. Is that right?
Quincy Una.
Yeah.
However you say his name, Una, Ewok, could say Ewok, anything. You get the idea.
Yes. Yeah. I was Lewis. I was very surprised that they lost to the Bills last week.
So was I. We thought that game was in the bag.
I was gonna say I thought they had that game pretty much in the bag, and for them to come out and not win that game was something else.
Yeah. They turned the choke signal. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
And this game here doesn't look much better. Carolina and the Buccaneers. Uh-uh.